For those of you that have been watching for a while, you know how much store I put in just drinking water. It can make such a difference to so many symptoms, and you know, so many of you tell me that you've started drinking a bit more water, and within a week or two symptoms have eased off quite dramatically. So it's such a super simple remedy for the menopause. We know that dehydration, you know, the usual symptoms would be things like headaches, fuzzy head, memory, sort of bloating. It can be things like palpitations, dry skin, vaginal dryness, bladder infections. So there's a whole raft of common menopause symptoms that can either be triggered by dehydration or made worse by dehydration. But I was doing a little bit of reading the other week and I came across these ones as well. And I just thought, wow, most of them I didn't know either. So it's one of these learning days for me too. So the first one is high blood pressure. And I was quite surprised at this one. High blood pressure, it's a really, really common symptom in the perimenopause and menopause, but it's one that does not normally have any symptoms. And this is one of the reasons they call high blood pressure the silent killer, because very often you don't know you have high blood pressure until you end up with a heart attack or a stroke. So apparently, if you're dehydrated, your blood volume decreases, and it makes it more difficult for the heart to pump sticky blood around the body. And especially, it is just one of the natural processes. Our blood pressure tends to go up first thing in the morning when we wake up. So this is one here which you can help to avoid this a little bit. Make sure you're drinking plenty of water during the day, but have that small glass of warm water just before you go to bed. And it can be even more prominent if you're getting night sweats or flushes during the night, then you're going to be even more dehydrated, and that could have an even bigger impact on your blood pressure first thing in the morning. The second thing is carbohydrate and sweet cravings. So again, this is a really interesting one. If you are active, so it could be doing exercises, it could be that you just have an active job, it could be that you're doing a lot of walking. So if you're active for a certain length of time, your body uses stored glucose, which is called glycogen. So this is stored in the liver. So if you are dehydrated, your body needs more of this. So your body will use this stored glucose in the liver as energy. But once it's used all that up, and especially if you're sweating due to the exercise as well, your body needs that energy back really quickly. So the minute you kind of calm down, you will start to crave carbohydrates or really, really sweet things. So it's really important in this situation, if you are active, doing the walking, an active job, or you're going to do some serious exercise, make sure that you are drinking plenty of water, and with the exercise, have a good drink maybe about an hour before you go and do your exercise, and actually drink during the exercise that you're doing itself, rather than waiting until the end to have a drink here. Number 3 is acid reflux. What happens in this situation? Very often our stomach acid decreases in the perimenopause and the menopause. It tends to cause the same symptoms as overacidity. So you will get acid reflux. But if you're producing less acid because you are dehydrated, you're going to get the same symptoms. You are going to think, oh, maybe it's overacidity. You then go and take antacids, which can make the situation worse in this situation. So if you're getting a lot of acid reflux after eating, then drink some water, maybe about an hour before you sit down to eat. Don't drink a lot whilst you're eating, because that's going to dilute all your gastric juices further. And the really interesting thing about this situation is, if you drink cold water, and especially in the summer, we're all guilty of it. we'll have a glass of something cold when we are eating, and cold water actually switches off, it deactivates our digestive enzymes, and that's going to contribute to less stomach acid as well. So don't drink cold water near or whilst you are eating. Take it away. And I tend not to recommend cold water anyway, because it sometimes it can trigger flushes and sweats and things. So I always tend to recommend room temperature or warm water if you're drinking it on its own. Number 4 is a flushed face. So if you're continually finding that your face is really flushed, now this can be due to quite a few other things. It could even be something like acne rosacea, but apparently dehydration will affect the moisture in the skin and especially the face. So that's another thing to bear in mind. Number 5 is sensitivity to light. Dehydration can affect your eyes. So it can affect your sight itself. So it can cause things like blurred vision. It can cause things like really irritated, dry eyes. And that's quite a common symptom. But it can actually affect your sight. And a lot of people tell me that they end up either having to wear glasses for the first time when they hit the perimenopause or menopause, or they find that they're having to get the strength of their lens changed much more regularly. So part of that could be just due to dehydration. It can also be burning eyes. You can become more sensitive to light generally, but also you can get sunken eyes. So if you think, oh, my eyes are getting really small, they seem to be getting smaller, that could be part of the problem. And also a classic sign of dehydration is really dark circles just under the eyes. So what can you do to help yourself here? So the main signs of dehydration, apart from the usual symptoms, so fatigue can be a big one. Your urine will be very dark. It tends to be a very dark colour. It might be quite a strong smell too, so just bear that in mind. Remember too that some medications can turn your urine a different colour. Vitamin B complex tablet is a classic example. It can make your urine smell really strong and turn your urine a bright green or yellow colour. So if you're passing plenty of water, and again, if you're going to the toilet and just passing a dribble, very often that can be dehydration too. So remember, loads of water during the day, plain water, your glass of water, small water at night. And remember to, in order to try and prevent your high blood pressure remaining after you've got up, first thing you do is have a big glass of warm water before you have your breakfast and before you have that cup of coffee or tea. So I hope you found this one helpful. It's just one of these things that very often these symptoms happen and we don't realise that sometimes there can be such a simple trigger to them. If you have any tips about dehydration, best way you find to take water, please share them as always. And I'll see you later and have a lovely week.